Japan, I'm coming back to you. There in old Japan.
And welcome back to the Nihon no Madoguchi Podcast with your host Domo and
Marty with the same T-shirt. By the way, let me show you this very nice UT France only T-shirt that you could buy only in Europe. I think in the America too, but you could not buy in Japan. So for the Japanese viewers, take that. I have it and you don't.
Studio Ghibli. Yeah, I'm just wearing the same outfit as the previous
Me
episode,
too.
Gomen Nasai, but just a regular brown,
Right.
yellowish brown kind of sweater thing as
Very
it's starting to
cool.
get a little cooler out.
Right.
That's it.
I don't want to be
I need some more
racist.
merch.
I don't want to be racist, so let me know if it is a racist thing to say or not, and otherwise we can cut it.
Sure.
But it's not that I envy, it's not the proper term, but the way that the brown clothes and like these kind of shades of clothes goes with the brownish skin, it's very cool. Like it really suits the degradation of the skin, and I'm very envious because I could not rock that as well as you do.
I don't think so. I mean, I also figured out recently that I like the way this looks on me as well.
Right.
And it was purely, I think it was me and the wife going out shopping,
Right.
and I just happened to see it. We put it on. I was like, oh, this isn't that bad,
Right.
And so we bought it.
Mm.
But I feel like you could probably rock this, and even
Right.
I was thinking if maybe the wife could get a matching with me, and she
Ah,
did not get one.
interesting. Right.
But she has like a regular yellow shirt, which
Ah,
kind of matches. Kind of it's a lot brighter, obviously, than
right.
this color, but it still works when we go
Right.
out and
So
things like that. But I appreciate the compliment, and no, it is not racist.
thank God it's not
We're
racist.
good.
Thank you. I got approved. I always feel like I was thinking about this because yesterday also I saw I think it was Métis, so it was half. So it was not African, but it was probably from the Antilles or something, where a lot of mixing was, and he was rocking like a tan suit so well that I'm like, yeah, man, you know your color gradation very well, so
I don't
very
know if
envious.
you
Yes,
I don't know if you remember. Yeah, I don't know if you remember President Barack Obama in his tan suit. He was rocking that.
Yeah, they
But
were jealous.
there's people
They
have
were
choice
jealous
words.
about
Yeah,
that. That's why they were beating around.
they have some choice words for his tan suit.
Right.
But we won't go any further than
No.
that on that topic.
Let's keep it on
Um,
the inside of the podcast with the theme of today.
yeah, exactly. So as you guys know, our previous episode was about Uchi and Soto, the inside and the outside, inner circles and outer circles. But we spend quite a bit of time talking about the Soto.
Right.
Actually, probably the whole broadcast, the whole
Yes.
length of the podcast. So we decided to go ahead and split it up into 2 episodes. And since we've talked about the outer circle, we dedicated the whole podcast to the outer circle. Now we're gonna spend this podcast talking about our experiences with the inner circle
Right.
and kind of just what it looks like.
Right.
How long how long it possibly took and whatnot.
But before that, a very friendly call to action from my end is that in case you have not seen the previous episode of this podcast, you can click the link below, or you can click here and there and stuff and that, so that you will not be lost about what we're saying. So with this aside, let's talk about. I hate doing this stuff, by the way. Let's talk about
No.
call to action there.
No,
But
I mean, of course, if they haven't seen the last episode, they should go watch it.
it would make
But
sense, but you can
it would make
also
sense.
don't do whatever you want. If you don't want to listen to the previous one, we'll try to entertain you anyway. We'll try our best.
Fair
So
enough.
yes,
You shall be entertained. You just might be lost and
right,
entertained.
yes, because
Yeah.
probably we'll have some things for granted. So with some of the, for example, we'll not explain once again what is Soto and Uchi. We won't go into much
Yeah.
details on the previous part. So if you want to give a listen to that. So yes, without further ado, no more call to action or any other long routes. Let's go for today's main topic, which is Uchi, and how, as a foreigner, you can get into the Uchi. What is the overall process? Of course, as a Japanese, how you can get into the uchi, that we have no idea and we cannot talk about that. So it's only from our Soto and Yosomono perspective that we will be talking today. So yes, Domo, I will let you lead the introduction to this wonderful topic.
No, sure, sure. So, Uchi, that also coveted inner circle that we all strive to be a part of.
Right.
It when I first came to Japan and actually found out about the concept of Uchi and Soto, it
Mm,
made a lot of everything like that I was going through on a daily basis make sense, right?
right.
We had that class with Pollock Sensei talking about his experience with the Uchi and Soto, and he was talking about how um, he had like a Japanese person just rock up to his house uninvited once,
Right.
and they just no obligatory like presents that you
Mm,
normally bring with them or something, and they just
yes.
rocked up, took the shoes off, and popped a squat on his couch, and he was very taken aback because this is someone he had known for 4 or 5 years at that point,
Right.
and it was whenever you would go, he went to their house or vice versa. It was
Mm,
always like you bring like a small gift or something to like he didn't go there often, but whenever you did, you always brought something to show thanks or whatever.
right.
But the one time that didn't happen, he realized, oh, he's finally in the Uchi.
Mm,
And I want to ask you, Marty,
right.
do you have any like a story, or like do you have a realization when you may have reached the Uchi? For it doesn't like obviously not just in general, but like for like one
Right.
specific person, like if you want to mention for one person, it may have took you some time and you're like, oh, they did this one thing, or maybe it was just like an interaction, or
Mm,
uh, a way they started speaking to you or something. I don't know what signs um, they may have shown you to let you know you were Nucci, but
right.
have you had that kind of experience yourself?
Great question. Great question. I would say that probably not as clear as you're asking. So I don't
Mm.
have an experience where there was that moment or exactly in this moment I knew that I was stepping into the Uchi. I mean, the reason also being that as a married man, I'm also interacting with my wife, family, but for some reasons, which is very weird also within the perspective of the Japanese society, when we got married, it was during the COVID period, you know,
Mm.
so we got married also so that I could take the visa and go to Japan, because at that time in end of 2021 only relatives could go to Japan with a, it was not a tourist visa properly, it's more like a family visa that is falls into the tankikan, so the short period, 3 months short period.
Mhm.
And when we got into Japan, we had there was a mandatory 2 weeks quarantine that you had to spend either in a hotel or in a place,
Yep.
a
Yep.
designated place. And my in-laws live close to Narita Airport. I mean, 1 hour drive, but pretty close to Narita Airport. So the first time I met my father-in-law is when I spent 2 weeks at his house. So you can say that concerning my family, my in-laws and thing, and the getting into the uchi of their family, I came in like a wrecking ball. So very
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
naked, Miley Cyrus getting into that wall, and then brah, so there is
I
uh,
came in like a wrecking
wrecking ball.
ball.
There was
Hopefully,
no,
this video doesn't get
yeah.
demonetized.
Hopefully
It's not.
no, because we don't sing as beautifully as to get demonetized probably.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet.
So
One of these days.
fortunately, I get in the Uchi as a wrecking ball, but I was not chased out of the Uchi as a wrecking ball, so or with a
Mm.
wrecking ball. So I was able to get there. So I miss this slow acquaintancing with the family. maybe it's the closest I could say I got into the uchi of someone was with my host family the first time they
Ooh.
invited me for I mean they invited us for Christmas, but in Japan Christmas is not such a big deal, like
Mm.
festivity wise, but when
Yeah,
they
yeah,
invited me for New Year's Eve, and they made me stay there. And then the next day or the following day, we went to some of their relatives. That is probably when it was clearly signaled that I was not so much in the Soto anymore. I mean, I wouldn't say Uchi as part of the family, that would be too much, but I
yeah, yeah. Of
was a
course, yeah.
little bit more acquainted with them than the normal host family program intended to. So yes, that's probably when but it's very much involved with staying at someone's house. Yes, probably the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time
yeah.
I slept there after the first time we visited them, and we shared together the osechiriori and the festivities and the hatsumode. So it's all very sharing something important with them. That was probably what told me that I was a little bit closer to the Uchi that I was before. Yes, that would be my reply. So what about you, Domo? Do you have any experience where you could tell that there was some kind of transition between the Sato and the Uchi with some... What about your wife, for example, or I don't know. Let us
Yeah,
know. Let
yeah,
us know about whatever whatever you feel like to share with us.
yeah, yeah. So maybe, and this is just something I was thinking as you were kind of speaking about your experiences and um your two examples of when you went from the Soto to the Uchi.
Right.
One being like a wrecking ball, and I guess one more gradual.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say that you can just from Marty's story alone, you guys, you can see that there's no one right way to get into the Uchi,
Right.
to get on that inner circle. There's a variety of different ways that it can happen, and most of them might not even be up to you, right? It might just happen, right?
Right.
In Marty's case, he just had to quarantine, and he ended up quarantining at his new father-in-law's house. Um, and on the other hand, you had the host family, which again, I guess it technically wasn't up to him because
Right.
the host family was picked for him on the program. I also had a host family picked for me as well, and probably also had a similar experience as Marty in that regard in terms of getting into the Uchi with them. Um, but if we go to my wife and their family, and this will bring me into like something I wanted to mention as well,
Right.
is that I'm the exact opposite of Marty in terms of how fast I got into the Uchi.
Right.
It was very slow and gradual, and I would say, just in generally speaking, that's probably the more common,
Right.
way it's gonna happen is slow and gradual.
Yes. By the
And
way,
so,
before you start sharing your details,
yeah, yeah,
just a reminder: keep things a little bit not too detailed, because otherwise I will have to
yeah,
cut a lot of things, and I don't want to do that. So, with that
uh,
stated, our audience
yeah,
know that sometimes there are some cuts that's
yeah,
50% of the time is because it's giving away too much.
yeah. We're still learning. Well, at least I'm still learning.
Me too.
It's
Me too. I always
I'm
cut myself as well, but
trying
oh,
to
that came out weirdly.
try to keep it as vague as possible. Yes.
A little bit.
So,
Keep it on
um,
the vague side.
so
Yes.
just generally speaking, right? Um, Me and my wife uh started dating. It was cool. It was great. My wife has children from a previous marriage. And I didn't really get to meet those children until later on in the relationship. So, and just starting off there, we, once you start dating, you're basically in the uchi with that person.
Right.
But on a kind of like a slightly larger scale, I was still in the soto. I
Mm,
was in her uchi, but the soto of her family, right?
mm,
And whether that's the family, just her immediate family, aka the kids, or her her parents and her siblings and things like that. Um, so starting off on the complete soto, but in her uchi, and then kind of working my way in, was able to meet the kids at some point. So that brought me even further. Now I'm thoroughly in her uchi, whether it's the like just her personal uchi or her familial uchi, and
Yes.
it's starting to get a little in the weeds. And right here is where I wanted to take the moment to kind of specify how there are kind of probably different levels of uchi and maybe even soto as well. Like you're on uchi you're on the inside, but you can be on the edges of the uchi,
Right.
whereas the core family is right in the center. You're in the uchi, but you're like on the edge. And this is what I was thinking when you were telling me about your host family.
Yes.
Whereas like you're on the uchi, and obviously you're not a part of their family, but
Sure.
they've invited you. You're in the uchi close enough to where they invited you to spend Christmas with them
Right.
in their family, right? So you might not be like right in the middle, but you're close. You're close to the center of the uchi. You're not on the edges of the uchi, right?
Right.
And with my with Eriko and her family, and after I met the kids, I was quite close to the center of the uchi. The only last step would have been to meet her parents and her siblings and their children and stuff like that, which I did get to do this year actually, because we got married this year.
Right.
And before we got married, after I proposed and before we got married, I got to meet her parents and her siblings. And then it goes from like, okay, now I'm now in the uchi of the whole family, but still kind of the outsides because we just kind of met once and they're still trying to get to know me.
Right.
Now I feel like I'm inching closer and closer to that middle part because we met multiple times now at this point, and we've hung out. We spent holidays together, and things like that. And so I think I'm thoroughly in all of the uchis now. If you want to look at it like that, that's kind of how I've been, kind of visualizing it, kind of taking a step closer and closer to that ultimate middle
Yes.
of the inner circle. And I think I don't think there's any more like any closer I can get other than like becoming Japanese or something. I don't know, changing my nationality.
Right.
But we're in it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Everyone has accepted me into the uchi,
Right.
all of her family members and stuff like that. So I really do feel like I belong now in their now in their inner circle, in the full inner circle, right? Not
Right.
just the inner circle of my wife, but the full familial inner
Right.
circle. And I'm also now in the family group line. Yay!
Nice. That's
So that's
the
that.
ultimate
Hey,
proof that
that's
you're in
the
the
ultimate. That's how you know. That's how you really know you know. It's when they add you to the group chat, the group line.
in how many group family are you in?
Ah, I'm only in one. If there's multiple, I'm not aware yet. Maybe I'm still too far away. Now, if there are multiple group chats, I'm just not aware of them. And I mean, there could be. I haven't been told of these if they
Right.
exist.
You will
And
see.
I may have to do some digging. I'm gonna have to do some digging, Marty. That's
Right.
interesting. Yeah, I am only in one, and I had to ask to be put in it.
I see.
Yeah. So it was because I didn't even know they had one
Mm,
until and I guess it makes sense that they had one. Like it
right.
wasn't even like something that was like knowledge that I had until like I think it was when I first met them and we all went out. We went bowling,
Right.
and I was taking pictures of everyone, and I wanted to send them to them, but obviously I wasn't in the group chat, and at the time we still weren't married, so I couldn't be put in the group chat just yet. So she's like, "Yeah, just send it to me, and I'll send it to them." And there were also times when my wife would send group chats to she would send photos to the group chat that included me,
Right.
but didn't send them to me because she thought I was in the group chat. And I was like, but you haven't put me in the group. What do you mean? What, I need the pictures. And so there was like that's when I knew of the existence of the group chat. And then after we got married,
Right.
like it was never like something like I wanted to be in the group chat, yes, but it was never like I can't wait. I'm on the edge of my seat to get into the group chat.
Right.
And so it was just like oh I had a realization. Oh yeah, I'm not in the group chat, and I was like, put me in the group chat. And she's
Right.
like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. And so she put me in the group chat.
Mm.
So I think she just assumed I was already in it. For
Oh
whatever
yeah.
reason, I
Well,
don't know
by
how that works, but yeah.
by our discussion, our listener may think that being part of a line group chat is a very important thing, but be assured it's not that important. It's not like a
Yeah,
status that
yeah.
you acquire. We are joking around. Even if you're not in the family chat, I mean, if you're married to someone and you're not in the family chat, it is a little bit weird, but it's not a Japanese status to be into the line group chat.
Yeah, yeah. I think it just shows literally that you are now one of us,
Right,
right? You now have access to everyone in the family.
right.
Even if you don't have their personal lines, you
Mm-mm-mm.
can get it.
You could
And you
get it if
can
you want.
message
Yes.
them and,
Mm.
and if you want it, right?
Mm-mm-mm.
And that's a level of trust they have to have with you, right? If they
Sure.
want to add
Yes.
you to the group. But like Marty said, it's not that big of a like. It's
No,
not
no,
like if you're not in the group chat, you like they hate you
no,
or
no.
you need to get a divorce right now. No, it's nothing of that level.
I mean,
But then again, you would want to be in the group chat if
yes.
you're married to the person.
If you're
Yeah.
not in the group chat, they may trash talk you, but that you don't know because you're not in the group chat. And don't worry, if they want to trash talk you, they will create another group without you, and they will trash talk you there. So, but that's human. It's not Japanese. It's
I can
everyone
see
does
that.
that.
I can see that. But I'll say this, and this might just be a normal
Hmm.
thing for family group chats. It's not active a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not a lot of messages being sent or anything. I actually had my first opportunity to react to a message today.
Wow.
Um, and it was a so one of the kids of the family. She's not a kid. She's a young woman
Right.
in college. She had a survey that it was like a 10-question survey, a 9-question survey.
Hmm.
She was like asking people to fill out
Right.
and or like a project or something. So she sent it in the family group chat, and she's like, "Yeah, please,答えてください. It's only
Hmm.
9 questions." I was like, "It's my chance to interact with the family,"
時が来た.
and so yes, and I reacted to the message and answered the
Right.
questions, and I mean that was it. That was the end of it. But
You did your duty.
mission accomplished.
It is a little bit of a tangent to the Uchi discussion, but when you were saying there, I don't see what I can do more than that to get into the Uchi, to get closer to the Uchi. But I was wondering, are you familiar? I mean, it's not a thing anymore, but are you familiar with the concept of Mukoyoshi? No,
Unkoyoshi.
no, Mukoyoshi.
Muko.
Yes,
I was
yes.
like Unkoyoshi.
Unkoyoshi, I
What's
think
that?
it could be an interesting thing, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if they have
right.
codified a social behavior with the term unkoyoshi, but I no no no
Unkoyoshi.
mukoyoshi, mukoyoshi.
I've heard the term, but I'm
Right.
not entirely sure what it means. Yeah.
So back in the days when I think this is more related to prestigious families or families that have to preserve a sort of unbroken line, dynasty kind of thing.
Mm.
It's not the emperor, even very low grade samurai or artisans, any type of
Yeah, yeah.
family that needs to share and to transmit their names. Um, they can do so if they have a male inheritor. So if they have a kid, a boy, then there is no issues. Let's say the Jenkins family,
Mm.
your father is a Jenkins, you're a Jenkins, so the Jenkins name has been transmitted
Ah,
by blood without any
uh,
issues. What if
I
you
see what
have
you mean.
only daughters? If you have only daughters, then based on the normal procedure of Yomeiri, Yomeiri is the normal procedure where the wife gets into
Oh,
the family of the husband, right? So she gets the husband name. And that is Yomeiri, becomes you get into the uchi of another family. But with
yeah, yeah.
Mukoyoshi means that if you have only daughters, your daughter will get married to a man, and it's the man who also physically, back in the days when everyone lived under the same roof, physically comes into the family of her wife of his wife. So the
Yeah, yeah.
daughter, it takes the name of his wife. So instead of let's say you're not a Jenkins anymore, you're a Tanaka or a Murata or anyway,
Mm,
and so you become member of your wife's family, whole and true, and then you can inherit your in-law family name, and then your kids will become that there will be a sort of an unbroken line of like
yeah,
it is
yeah,
not
yeah,
pure
yeah, yeah,
blooded,
yeah.
but and that's how they resolved this interruption. So you could do a Mukoyoshi, although there is no meaning in doing that in the present centuries, and I don't think your wife has a dynasty to preserve to the point of recurring to changing your name to a Japanese name. Who knows? I'm not sure, but
Yeah. I will say, it might be a little too late for the Mukoyoshi,
right,
unless we can like go back
change
to the
stuff.
city hall and change some things up. But she has inherited my last name,
Oh,
so she is now a Jenkins, and
oh,
even like we've gone through the procedure of getting all the
mm,
documents and getting the incon and stuff
right.
like that. Um, so we she's thoroughly now a Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Um, except at work because
Yes,
it
yes,
takes a little bit of time to get that. You're in the system as this, and everyone knows you as this. It takes some time to
yes, yes.
change that, which is fine.
Mm,
I don't. I'm not really. Um, I don't really. I'm not stressing about that.
right.
Um, but yeah, I guess. I guess.
That's the only way
Um,
you can get closer to the
Muko,
Uchi.
yeah, getting even closer.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you can probably without like becoming a
Mm.
I don't know what that would be in English. What is the word? I feel like we have a word for it. Where the man takes the
The
like
wife's
becomes
name?
a part of the other
Oh,
family, the wife's name. So I'm pretty sure there's a word for it in English. I don't know if it was that prevalent like of a thing
I see.
back in like in the days of kings and queens,
Mm,
like in Europe and things like that. Maybe like you said, in the event that the king only has daughters,
yes.
what do you do? So and there is a I don't know if you want to say recent, like and I'll probably mention this to you in private.
Right.
But there is a specific example of people that we know that actually this happened to, where the
I'm very
man went into
very much curious
uh
to that, but that would have giving away too much detail, so we can keep it
yeah, of course, yeah,
private. Yes, I mean it was quite peculiar, and I think it segues to the Uchi part where you're stopped being a member of one family to get into the Uchi of the other family. Back in the days, it was very literal in the sense that all the whole family lived into under one roof. So having
yeah,
the
yeah,
Mukoyoshi means that physically the husbands get into the daughter house. It's not like nowadays that they both live in a different place. Now, at the time, they used to live in the same roof, and therefore, it was very physical in the sense of moving a husband or a wife
yeah,
across
yeah,
a house meant that physically that person stepped into that house and became part of the daily life of the house. So that is also probably why this concept of Uchi and Soto is so structured in Japan, because it really depended a lot. I mean, I think it is true for many other countries. I know for sure that Italy, until very recently, we used to do the same, where physically everyone lived under the same roof. But I guess for some reason in Japan, it became more codified through language as well.
yeah. I don't think like at least it's probably just different in America because we're more individualistic.
Right.
Ooh. Rather than focusing on the whole, we're
Mm,
more focused on just us and our immediate like surroundings, our families,
right.
right? Individualistic. Yeah, yeah, that's the
Mm,
word. Okay, make sure I
yes.
wasn't tripping. And so I mean, like your family and your
Mm,
friends, yes, are the Uchi and everyone else the Soto,
right.
but I don't know if I've ever really thought about it in that way. It was just did I know you or did I not know you? Are we
Right.
close or are we
Mm.
not close? Um, and yeah, like the idea of Uchi and Soto is just about everywhere in the world.
Yes.
It just might not be as structured and
Mm.
maybe even rigid, as rigid as it is in Japan. Like it takes a lot to get into the
Mm.
Uchi. And for me and Marty, as we were just talking about how we entered into the Uchi
Yes.
through marriage, in this
Mm-hmm.
specific case, right?
Yes.
Obviously there are you know other ways we've done it with other people,
Yes.
but it was through vastly different ways.
Oh, okay.
Um, in the sense that Marty had met, his wife
Yes.
in France, and came back and
Mm.
came in like a wrecking ball. Whereas
Yeah.
I met my wife here in Japan,
More
in
gradually.
the Indianaka,
Right.
and took my way in. And this is something I think I either said it. I think I said it this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my memory is terrible.
It's quite
But
late at night also over there.
um, yeah, it's but I truly think now that the Uchi part of the Uchi and Soto refers to, yes, the inside, the
Right.
Nai, the
Mm-hmm.
character Nai Uchi, and then Soto is outside. But I think it is kind of like a play on words with the house Uchi,
Ah,
because
yes.
uh, like you had mentioned, like in Italy and in Japan, there was a point in time where everyone lived in the same room, and it's not like even now in Japan, you do tend to find like your grandparents and your parents all in the same house with the,
Together.
with the
Yes.
kids and stuff like
Mm.
that, and in the physicality of the like in especially in terms of the Mukoyoshi of someone of a man literally physically coming into the house, into the Uchi,
Yes.
the house and the inside through marriage. um I think there might be some type of like relationship. There might be a book written on that's already made this comparison or this connection. I
Most
just don't
definitely,
know about
yes.
it. I've never read it. But yeah, like the idea of like, at least in my case, um another kind of instance of when I realized I was in the Uchi was with the guy Iguchi-san I was telling
Right.
telling you
Yes.
about, the who worked for JR. Um I knew I was in his Uchi when when he took me to his family home to
Oh,
wash
yes.
for me to wash my car.
Right.
I told him, I was like, oh, I need to wash my car. Do you know any like good places, like any like car washes or something? He was like, you can literally just come to my house and like we got like a hose and some soap and some wax that you can use to wax your car to keep your like keep your windows nice and
Lovely. Mm.
uh not wet when it rains,
Mm.
like the water beads up and stuff like that. I was like, okay, all right. And then I went to his family house and washed the car. His dad was there, his mom was there. They're like,
Mm.
what's going on? You know, and he introduced them. It introduced me to them. And at the end of the day, his mom was like, I want to take a picture with the
That's
with
cute.
the with the foreign man. And
Uh,
I was like, okay, yeah. And so he took a picture, and then he sent the picture in his group chat, in his family group chat. And he came to work the next day, and he had told me what his siblings had said. He said they had said, uh, what is this picture, and who edited it? Who photoshopped it? Who's this? Who's this strange? Who is this foreign man
what
next
is
to our
this
mother? Like, what's
Photoshop?
going on? Photoshop photo. Why does it look so real? And
That's right.
so
Yeah.
it was. That's how I knew I was in the
Mm.
Uchi with him. And uh, again, it goes back to
To the
going to his
house.
house.
Yeah.
It's always the house. The house is a very sacred place. It's where you go and you can be yourself and you relax and this and that and the other. So if you
Exactly.
bring
Yeah.
somebody there,
Mm.
if someone brings you to the house, you might be closer to the Uchi than you think.
Yeah.
Um,
Most definitely. Yes.
and if it, I mean, if it's a girl and you're a guy, you might be, you might have some. There might be something else going on, but you know, I don't. And vice versa.
That's
If it's
a different
if
type of
you're if
Uchi,
you're a
I would
girl and
say.
you're a guy, you you might have something else to worry about. But
Right.
I mean, you still might even be the Uchi. The fact that you're close to the Uchi might not. It still does not change.
Right.
Um, like yeah, I think there's some correlation there. I can't be sure if any of you guys know, please
Let us
let us
know.
know in the comment section.
Mm. Maybe one concluded observation regarding this the concept of uchi that I find quite interesting and quite indicative of this overall construct is that there have been so much construction, sorry for the repetition of words here, around the concept of uchi that is now become also an alternative to the I pronoun. So it is a way to identify oneself. Generally, it is perceived as a feminine thing, probably still because of like the
Yeah,
not very contemporary concept of the woman being closer to the house and more related to the
yeah.
house. But usually, girls, especially, I don't know, but it's not very age significant, I think, because even
Yeah,
old
yeah. I don't
person
think
can
so.
say
Yeah,
uchi. But usually, you have in Japanese, you have a lot of ways to express the pronoun I. It's not only I, me,
yeah,
my, it's also like you have watashi, washi, watakushi, ore, boku. And so among all of these, you have also uchi, which literally translates as our house kind of idea. Uchi, us, it's more us, but usually girls and women use uchi to refer to themselves as well, and that is quite telling about it's pretty self-explanatory on what is the uchi. So uchi, you cannot make more uchi than uchi. Me, I am uchi, and everything that gravitates around me, depending on how far it is from me, it's uchi, but different spectrum of uchi, and then goes to the Soto and everything, and that's really, I would say, summarize very well the overall concept of Uchi being a synonym for I Uchi, and then a little bit of from Uchi to Soto to Yoso to Uchu. So you just make the whole thing, and then what about these lovely words as a conclusion for today's episode?
Marty, my mind is blown. I've never. It was like 1 + 1 = 2. I was like, oh, what? Uchi, because Uchi is a way, another way you can say I,
Yes.
and I am the Uchi. Oh, what?
Oh wow.
I am the Uchi, and the Uchi is me. But it's but it's typically like you said, it's a very feminine thing. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's what. Learn something new every day, guys. This is
Right.
why you guys watch the podcast. And yeah, I think that's a perfect way to end off on this two-part series, two-part episode of Uchi and Soto. Um and just to kind of like give you guys like, the final kind of like how do I want to say this, kind of piece of encouragement and advice.
Yes.
Um as Marty has stated for us eloquently again, you have the Yoso, the Soto, and the Uchi, and even outside of the Yoso, the Uchu. Um, and you're gonna start off as Yoso if you have no connections to anyone in Japan, right? You then work your way into the Soto as you get to know people and get to connect with people through, whether that's through work, through study abroad, through acquaintances, through whatever means. You might be going to a language school and you guys are in that specific situation, and that's how you get to know people. It's gonna take time to get to the Uchi, and that's okay. If you're willing to put in that effort and that time, um, you'll get there eventually. I think the main thing is just being consistent and showing up, right,
Yes.
in the relationship, just like anywhere else in the world,
Yes.
right? Showing that you care enough to put in effort to make this work, and that you're gonna be around, right? Because you don't want to say you're only gonna be here for a year and try to make friends, and then that's gonna kind of be a barrier. Um, so all in all, it's a slow and steady race, but stay consistent and showing up and putting in effort in your relationships, and you'll get there eventually.
Yes.
It's not as mythical and as far off place as we all make it seem, as we probably made it seem in these
Also,
two
yes.
episodes. But it's definitely achievable, and I know that you can achieve it.
You can do it. Lovely, lovely. I think what more to say? As always, thank you very much for watching until the end. If you did not, I mean, too bad. You have a lot of things to check. Um, so thank you very much, and see you next time, where we will probably be speaking in Japanese, as
Mm.
we like to switch things from English to Japanese, mainly to speak Japanese among ourselves and get better at this lovely and so much difficult language. So yes, let's cut it short, and thank you very much for watching. And so, yeah.
So yeah.